Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hot Girls Learn Hockey podcast. My name is Sarah. If you're new to the show, this is the show where we talk about all things hockey, the what to knows, the who to knows, and everything in between. And today's episode is going to be partially about hockey related, but also just about a topic that I've always wanted to talk about to an audience, but never really had the opportunity to, and that is the whole concept of parasocial relationships. I did a poll, like I mentioned in my last episode, on my Instagram, with a bunch of different video topics, and there were two that were like tied. One of them was the parasocial relationships, and another was ranking different NHL teams. And so I ordered something on Amazon that is not going to arrive until after I record this and upload it. So I'm doing parasocial relationships for this episode, and then next one, if it comes in time, will hopefully be the ranking NHL teams. I was gonna tell you what I bought. I bought a bunch of like magnets of different NHL teams, like their logos and stuff. And since I have my big whiteboard, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna put it to use and do some kind of funny ranking. I'm gonna rank them in different like funny categories. There's 32 teams, so it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, so that will be next week's episode. Hopefully, if it comes in time. If not, it will be a player profile on Wayne Gretzky, because that was the like third place winner. Nobody voted for the team deep dive on the Florida Panthers, which rude. You're denying me time to talk about Matthew Tkachuk, and that's just actually like really rude. But anyway, so today's episode will be parasocial relationships. First and foremost, this is going to be a very heavy episode. Not very heavy episode, but I'm going to be talking about like stalking. So if this is something that you do not want to listen to, or if the concept of having a stalker or stalking is triggering to you, if it's a topic that's just not for you, and then it's not for you, and then I will see you in the next one. I completely understand. If you don't want to listen to me talk about it or listen to the case I'm going to tell you about today, I completely understand. I will see you next week, and I love you and appreciate you. Let's go ahead and take a little sip of our fun drink. You already know the drill. San Jose Sharks Cup, non-branded black cherry seltzer. No, I don't have a problem. And yes, I do like other flavors. It's just black cherry. I don't know what it is. It's just elite. It's better than everyone else. She's the moment. But yeah, so cheers, and let's get into today's episode. Okay, so I guess the best place to start is like, what is a parasocial relationship? So I pulled up, also if you're wondering what I'm looking at my iPad. I pulled up the definition of it. A parasocial relationship is a one-sided psychological connection that an individual develops with a celebrity, fictional character, or other media figure, even though they do not have a real-life relationship with that person. It is a form of psychological intimacy felt by the individual, but not reciprocated by the figure. You can have a parasocial relationship with real people, with fake people. You can have one with Tom Brady or with Sydney Sweeney or with Harry Potter. Like, one-sided, this other individual who is a media figure, real or fake, does not know you. They might have met you if you stalked them or went to an event that they were at, if they're a real figure, but you're not in a relationship with them, romantic or otherwise. It's a concept that exists, like I said, in every different medium, like sports, movie, TV, music. Today I want to kind of just focus on one specific case of someone having a parasocial relationship with a hockey player that has gotten to the point where drastic measures by this player's teams have been taken, and it is just like the biggest case of stalking and parasocial relationships in the NHL right now. Like, if you look up, literally, if you Google NHL stalker, this is the first story that pops up because it is just like insane. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start from the beginning. So, hockey player in question, his name is Jake DeBrusk. He is a hockey player from Canada. He plays for the NHL. He was originally drafted to the Boston Bruins in the 2015 NHL entry draft, but he currently plays for the Vancouver Canucks. He is 28 years old, so he is a year older than me. And this all really started back in 2022, so not that long ago. Only 3 years ago that this whole ordeal started. So the players in this are obviously Jake DeBrusk and a woman who, you can look up her name. I'm not going to give her the satisfaction, not that she's going to watch this, but I'm not going to give the satisfaction of giving out the real name and giving this woman any more credit than she gets for being a stalker. So we'll call her Susan. So Susan is a really big fan of Jake DeBrusk. So much so, in fact, that she, started going to games when he was playing for the Boston Bruins and playing in Boston, and would go to games constantly. And just at one point, she decided to start stalking him, as well as his sister and his girlfriend. She was not leaving these individuals alone. Anywhere from just following them after games, following them out and about in Boston. It was a lot. And it got to the point that once, the Bruins were aware that this was a situation and that Susan was stalking one of their players, a very good player as well, they filed a restraining order on behalf of on behalf of the team and also Jake, against her in Boston at TD Garden, Warrior Arena, Madison Square Garden, and numerous other arenas on the East Coast. She is not allowed to go to, I don't know if it's just any events at these places or what, but it's kind of like a no-fly list, but for a bunch of like East Coast arenas, and specifically and importantly Boston arenas, because at this time he was playing for Boston Bruins. And then so once he started playing for the Vancouver Canucks in 2024, you would think, they move into the other side of the country, not going to be an East Coaster anymore. You would think that Susan would throw in the towel, be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll have to find another player to stalk. But no, you can't reason with crazy. And Susan followed Jake all the way to Vancouver. Oh my god. I wonder if this person has like a job or anything. Obviously they have to have a job or something to be able to like afford to go to games, but this is crazy. And so this individual, they, even at games that are not at like the home arena for Jake, they would go to games that they were playing nearby at, whether it was like, if they were playing against, let's say when he was in the Bruins and he was playing games against the Islanders, follow them to an Islanders game. Like it was that bad. And this all came to a head this past season. So remember, Jake DeBrusk is now playing for the Vancouver Canucks. at this point. He is in Vancouver, and so is Susan. And on January 2nd of 2025, Susan wants to go watch the Canucks play a game against the Seattle Kraken at the Seattle Kraken's arena, which is, I believe, the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. And they were denied entry. So Susan narrated it for us. So I'm going to read the tweets that Susan, member, not real name, tweeted out. Because they were just so outraged at what happened to them. So please enjoy this dramatic reading of Susan when she was denied entry to this game and decided to tweet about it. Let me take a sip of my drink really quick. Okay. I am upset because I wasn't allowed to attend the Canucks game in Seattle tonight. I bought a ticket this afternoon, and when I got there, my ticket wouldn't scan. I was then sent to the ticket office to explain my situation. A few minutes later, the director of security greeted me and said that the Canucks requested that I not attend tonight's game. He told me they saw that I bought a ticket and flagged it. Okay, that happened fast. Jake should see that I love hockey and can't enjoy life without it and without traveling to see him. When will Jake finally change his mind and see that I am the perfect girl for him? I actually truly love him, and there are no reasons to be creeped out by that. I don't see how Mia is his girlfriend, expressed her love for him in a better way than I did. This is so insane. Oh my God. Jake telling the Canucks about me was not right, and he needs to hear that. I want to be at as many Canucks games as possible. I want to know what the women he dates and is friends with have that I don't. I want him to take me on dates because I will actually act professional. Jake needs to get me allowed back at games and help me get in with the media this season. If I tell Jake that I am working on my mental health, will he be okay with seeing me again? I at least want to attend games again. I want to work in the media for the Canucks. I want to work on getting into medical school. I know these things will happen if I stop some of my quirks. End scene. What the actual... Sorry, I'm going to swear, Mom. What the actual fuck? Like, are you serious? Like... When will Jake finally change his mind and see that I am the perfect girl from him? Susan, his perfect girl, doesn't stalk him. His perfect girl is sane. That is actually crazy. I feel so bad for media figures who have stalkers quite like this, because it just must be so... just nerve-wracking going out in public or going to a public event and knowing this person could be there. This person who has been quite literally following me. That is terrifying. Terrifying. Oh my gosh. And that is really the last that we've heard about Susan's shenanigans. I bet they're still trying to get into whatever games that they can. I hope that Jake and his girlfriend, if they're still together, and his sister, family, whatever, I hope that they're all okay and that they feel safe. And so sorry, my guy, that this has happened to you. That is actually insane. I'm sure there's other stalking incidents and cases of these parasocial relationships with other different NHL players. That is just like the biggest one that I really want to talk about, especially because of those absolutely insane tweets that Susan tweeted the audacity to act outraged that you can't stalk this man anymore. Oh my gosh, how dare they? It's so crazy, isn't that? That, there are consequences to your actions. What a strange concept. And so now that mini scripted part of this episode has concluded, I'm just kind of going to go off script right now, because another thing I want to talk about in regards to parasocial relationships with hockey players is my experience with some individuals who I believe exhibited very much parasocial relationship tendencies with a certain team that I really like, without giving too much away. So, to preface this for people who have never been to hockey games at this specific arena, it's very hard, I'd say, with like hockey games in general, to like really be able to talk to your favorite player when they're on the ice, because obviously they're getting ready for a game. It's, focus time for them. There are cases where, we bring in a sign that says, hey, number whatever, can you trade me a puck for like a bag of Skittles or whatever? And then, the player will go, they'll see it, they'll toss you over a puck, you toss over the Skittles, and there's a transaction done. But you're not having these like meaningful conversations with them, or actually like physically talking face to face with them, which, is fine. There are reasons why there are events that these players go to do meet and greets and such. There's time and places for these things. But if you are at one of these games and you have something for your favorite player and you want to give it to them, and you want it to go directly to them and not have the possibility of it being, lost in their locker or whatever. If you give it to them on the ice and they go put it back in the locker room, you can go around to the back of this arena, and there is it's like a loading dock. It's where like the buses for the away teams will pull into, and then also where the players park their cars when they get to the games, and then where they drive out at the end of the game, once they're showered and back in their suits and everything. And there's always security there, of course, and there's always gonna be a good group of fans, like normal fans, who just they just want to go, they want to get a puck signed, or they want to go get a jersey signed, or a poster, or whatever, like really, really normal fan behavior. And then there are the ones who every home game show up. They've gotten like 10,000 signatures from these players. They've, met them tons of times. Some of them are on a first name basis with arena staff, because that's how much they've, gone to this part of the arena, part of outside of the arena, and done this whole song and dance. Now, it is perfectly fine, like I said before, fan behavior, normal fan behavior. You want to get your jersey signed. You don't want to go and wait for an event. You wait for your favorite player to pull up in their car, and then they can sign your jersey, whatever. It's when it gets to the point where you have stories of insane behavior when it comes to these players, that is where it is not okay. But let me give more context. So I have gone to this area of this arena only twice. Once was just literally to give a bracelet to my favorite player, and another was to get clarification on a signature that I got on a piece of merchandise, because I did not know whose signature it was. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, if they stop, I'll ask them, like, hey, is this your signature? If not, can you sign it? Whatever. First time I went, there was this person let's call them, I don't know their real name. So let's just call them Chloe. So Chloe is a very big fan of this team. They are on a first name basis, I learned, with arena staff, with coaching staff, and will go to all this team's home games. Not sure if they go to all their away games, but they also follow the AHL team that's associated with this NHL team, goes to all their games as well, and all their practices and everything. Very much, a big fan. And the first time that I went and saw Chloe, they repeatedly kept trying to interrupt me while I was trying to talk to my favorite player and hand them the bracelet, and was just yelling really weird questions at every single car, regardless if the player actually stopped to talk to everybody. Was just yelling really weird and random questions to them, almost acting like they were like catching up with an old friend. And like I said, this is regardless if the player even stopped to sign anything and rolled their windows down. Like, they were like yelling. They yelled at one player. They're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you got your license and you didn't tell me." Player literally had their all four windows up, just driving past everybody. Did not want to stop. And in my mind, I'm like, that was a really weird thing to say to this player. How did you know that they don't have a license? Very interesting. I mean, maybe this individual mentioned it in an interview. You never know. And so I didn't really think too much of it. I thought that this person was really weird, but I was like, okay, whatever. And then the next time, I should also say that this first time that I went, I was with my friend and she filmed me meeting my favorite player, and I I like literally gave the bracelet, and then we was like, okay, let's dip, because this is like, it's really cold outside and I want to go home. So yeah, but the second time that I went to this whole thing was when I was by myself, because I went to a game by myself. And like I mentioned, I had a piece of merchandise that I had signed, and it was given to me signed, so I didn't know whose signature it was. So I was like, okay, let's just go back. I'll just go back and hopefully that person stops and I can ask them. And who do I see there but Chloe? And Chloe's not alone. Chloe didn't have their little friends last time, but they had their big group of friends this time. And this big group all had, I want to say it was like Letterman jackets. It was like those style jackets, but for this team, and they were like covered. I mean, covered in signatures from various players from this team. And they also had really high quality pictures, like print pictures, cards, like player cards that they made for individual players that they made themselves. And also, I think one of them had like a fan, like a fan, like one that you would like fan your face with, like a hand fan with a player's face on it. And it was very, not strange, but very interesting just to see. I was like, okay, they make their own merch, because, whatever, they don't like the merch that this team makes, or they don't like the pictures that they put on the whatever. Again, really didn't think anything too much of it until we were all waiting for one specific player to come out, and it was the player that I was wanting to ask about the signature. And I'm overhearing their conversation of Chloe and all these girls, and just the small little tidbits that I got were insane. They were on their phones looking, I don't know if they were trading pictures or if they were just showing off, but they're like, this is the picture I took when I was following blank's car the other day. You see that little speck? That's his head. Taken aback. I'm like, oh my God, why were you following this person? Why are you following this player in their car with your car? That is insane. And another person said, oh, that's nothing. You should see the pictures that I took of blank with their girlfriend when I followed them to a restaurant the other night. You see how cute they are together? I don't know why they don't become public. I don't know why this person doesn't post about their girlfriend. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? You followed them. You don't know why they don't go public with a relationship because of shit like that. And again, this whole thing of they're talking about these players as if they're like best friends. Like Chloe literally was like, I need to talk to so and so because I'm really like I think that he's mad at me and I need to just talk to them. Like I need to clarify something for them. Like I don't want them to be mad at me anymore. They don't know you. You're not friends with them. You're not dating them. You are a fan. Like, I'm so sorry. It sounds really harsh, but like, you are a fan. You pay money to see this person. That's not a friendship. If you were a friend, you'd be going to all these games for free and sitting in the family box. But you're not. I don't even know if you're going to the games, actually. I think you just show up to the loading dock every night. Like, insane behavior. It is crazy. I literally called my friend who was with me the last time that I went there, and I was like, you will not believe who I saw. Chloe. And Chloe had friends, and they said some bonker shit. And my friend was like, that is actually insane. You probably dodged a bullet by not befriending any of these people. I'm like, I am not going back there ever again. I'll probably maybe, like, if I have a friend who really, really wants something signed, I'll probably, take them back there and then have them, get signature, whatever. It was, like, terrifying. It honestly reminded me a lot of, if, straying away from hockey, and if you know me in real life, you know this, I used to / am a K-pop fan, Korean pop, and it very much reminded me of the fan behavior of K-pop idols. We just switched out a 13-member group with the hockey team. It's same shit. They're making merch, they're stalking, they're following cars. It is insane. That is insane behavior. That is a whole other... If you ever want to, know anything about the insane stalking that K-pop idols go through, look up sasaengs on YouTube, or, sasaeng video essays on YouTube. You will be shocked. Yeah, it is insane behavior. I feel for these people because it's kind of sad that they might feel like they don't have as many close connections in their actual real life that are, reciprocated connections. So they feel the need to create these relationships in their heads with these figures. But like I said, they don't know you. You guys are not friends. You're not off getting brunch with them on Sundays. You guys don't go to the gym together and do workouts together. You guys aren't invited to their life events like baby showers or weddings or birthday parties. You do not know them. They do not know you. You do not have a romantic or otherwise relationship with these people other than having a fan relationship where there's figure and fan. It's a harsh reality and it's a harsh truth, but it needs to be said. I feel like I just did a TED Talk. That was a lot from from me, I feel. This is like a story that I've only told a select few people because I don't like thinking about it because, like I said, it fucking scared me. Not scared me, but it like made me feel really uncomfortable. And two, I didn't really have a reason to bring it up to anybody. Like at a lunch with my girlfriends, they're all talking about relationship issues or problems, whatever, and I'm like, oh, did you know about this stalker? It's like there's really no like what's it called? There's really no like organic way just to like transition into a topic like that. So I am very happy that I was able to make an episode about this and get all this off my chest. And that way I can move on with my life. If you're one of the individuals that I'm talking about and you just so happen to stumble across this episode, please reevaluate your life and make better choices in your life. And also, please stop following people and stalking people. The shit's weird and it's not cute. And I hope you get the help that you need. If you do need help, which you might. So that was fun. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add other than what I've already said about this topic. Don't be weird. And don't stalk people. Is the message that I guess I can leave this episode with. Whether they're famous or not, just don't stalk people. Don't do it. It's not a good decision to make. And it's not a sane decision to make, if I'm being quite honest. So yeah. This is a crazy topic for this episode, but y'all wanted me to talk about it. And I said, say less. I have a microphone. I will talk. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you are watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please make sure to give the show a good rating. Like I mentioned at the very beginning of the episode, next week's episode, if my magnets get here in time, will be ranking NHL teams in funny categories. And if they don't get here in time, it will be a player profile on Wayne Gretzky. I love you all so much, and I appreciate every single person who watches these episodes on YouTube or listens to them on Spotify. Like I've said before, numbers don't really matter to me, but it's nice to know that there are people that like genuinely like look forward to these episodes. I'm like, oh my god, my Shaylas, I love you. Yeah. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching or listening, and I will see you guys next time.